What is up guys, Greedy Knight here with a discussion on how the training room can be improved in future installments. The current version is the best iteration of a formal testing room, but compared to Worldborn's wooden targets and a non-existent training area in previous games, there is definitely room for improvement. Let's get into it. This is a set of changes I want from a build making standpoint. There are many changes that can be implemented, but this is a wishlist for future installments, namely the ultimate version of Rise. Take this video with a grain of salt, as this isn't a prediction video or anything like that. Discuss heavily in the comments. However, I found that posting discussions requires me to take one stance and then explain my stance. So that is why this topic is more of a my opinion type video. Since this will be one of many discussions, I will be experimenting for the first few videos, so constructional criticism for formatting and topic choices are more welcome than usual. There should be more monster models than just Tetranodon. It is the only amphibian in Rise, so to have it as the training dummy poorly represents the monster roster. There shouldn't be a monster model for every monster in the game, just a model to represent one of each species, one for Wyvern, Leviathan, etc. This way, you can get the general feel of how to hit specific monster types, and adjust to the minute shape differences during the course of a hunt. You should be able to modify the Hitzone values of the training dummy. You can test element, cutting, impact, and bullet damage to optimize your output at varying hit zone and skill point levels. In practice, you can mimic a monster's hit zone spread to test damage for that particular monster's hit zones. Pairing this with the hunter notes, you will have a log of how much damage you will apply on every monster without having to go through the hassle of bullying 20 of every species. The point of testing damage values in the training room is to figure out the best set, but it all goes out the window when your training room values don't match up with your damage output in an actual hunt. By simulating a hunt in the training room, you can properly prepare a set that is designed to counter a monster. The training dummy should have the option to be set in the Enraged State, so you can activate and test skills like Hellfire and Agitator. This way you can check the damage output for these skills without having to enrage monsters and check your stats mid-hunt. You should be able to toggle Spearbird buffs. In non-rampage hunts, you will most likely never get your stats to max, so you should be able to test your damage output with any level of Spearbirds ranging from 0 to max. This way, your damage values found in the training room aren't inflated when compared to values in a hunt. If that function is too complicated, then at the very least, we should be able to toggle them off entirely for a similar effect without the complexity. The combo counter should be recorded next to the last recorded damage number. When testing for damage, you need both damage values and hit count to accurately calculate your output. Not everyone has a stellar memory, and most people won't be logging their values in a spreadsheet, so this quality of life will make it easier to keep track of values without having to use outside sources. From a design standpoint, developers should help players using in-game tools instead of forcing them to use outside sources to keep track of information. The training room should remember at least 2 sets of damage values. It makes damage comparison testing easier instead of forcing hunters to commit overwritten values to memory or to a spreadsheet. Like the combo counter, it's purely a quality of life change for people trying to min-max values. You should be able to save settings in the training room. It is annoying to have to talk to the training cat just to lower Tetranodon's head for weapon practice and testing. Paired with the other suggested changes in this video, it will save you time from toggling settings before a testing session. You should be able to save at least 2 settings to quickly switch between. Also, toggling whether buddies attack should be an added option to settings. Element, stun, exhaust, and status should be shown and recorded in a separate window. Knowing how much secondary damage you apply helps you optimize your sets without having to extensively test in a hunt. This way, you can figure out exactly how much of each secondary damage skill you need for a given weapon and set. All of this is for min-maxing of course, but this also helps you identify if raw, status, or element is stronger for your particular weapon. Sharpness and sharpness loss should be shown in units. Having immediate knowledge of how much sharpness you have and how much sharpness you lose with each move will help you determine the optimal paths for combos, and whether you should opt for skills like Protective Polish. It also helps with figuring out each weapon's damage curve, which I might cover in a future video. Like if this video is helpful to you, Consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. That's all I got for this one. Greedy Knight, signing out.